Welcome to Sharp Factory's Quick Start video tutorial series. On this video, we're going to talk about how to call stored procedures using the Sharp Factory framework. This video builds upon previous videos. So if you haven't watched the previous videos in the series, I suggest you stop this video and do so now. We're going to be using the same solution that we have been using for the past few examples. We have added an extra controller called the Search People controller, and we have added an extra view called the Search People Index view to display a list of people, which is the result of a call to a stored procedure. Let's take a look at what we have so far. Let's fire up our application. I have also added an extra link to be able to navigate to the Search People view. So let's click on it. So as you can see, there's no results at this point. And if we can enter a value here in the search text box and click the search button, there's nothing being returned because we haven't set up our call to our stored procedure. So let's do that now. First, stored procedures in the Sharp Factory framework generate two entities. One for the request represents the collection of parameters that the stored procedure takes in, like these, and another entity for the result that represents whatever the stored procedure returns. Of course, this is going to be different depending on the kind of stored procedure and the return type of the particular stored procedure. So now let's put this in practice and let's call our stored procedure. First of all, we need to build our request. So we're going to say var request, and the naming convention is the stored procedure name lower dash and then the word request. So our stored procedure is called search for people entities. So we're going to say lower dash request. Now we are going to need to add the appropriate using statement for this particular entity. So we do that now. Now let's build our request. We're going to fill in the parameter called search text, which is one of the parameters in the stored procedure, with the search parameter coming in from our HTML view. Then we're going to fill in the maximum rows to return, which is another parameter of the stored procedure, and we're going to say 10 because we don't want at any point in time more than 10 results showing in the screen for this particular example. Now we're going to get a result. To get a result, we need to call our stored procedure, and we keep following the same pattern of injecting a repository through our constructor in our controller. Same pattern that we've been following for the past few examples. Now let's call our repository. Now we pass in the data model name, which we called it appdb in the first video when we created this model. Now let's look for the particular schema name, which is website in this case, and then look for the stored procs. And in the stored procs, we're going to find our search for people entity stored procedure. Right now we just have one stored procedure, so only one stored procedure is showing. And then it takes in a request, so we pass in the request object that we have created. Now the result of a stored procedure has two properties because stored procedures usually return two things. It has a return value, and it also has the actual result of the stored procedure. So in order to extract the result, we're going to say result.result. So we have two properties, one that represents a list of entities that comes back from the stored procedure, and the other one is the return value, which is something that all stored procedures return. So we're going to use the result to pull the results from the stored procedure. Now let's fire up our application and see what the effect of this is in the screen. Now we go to the search people, and we're going to enter some search criteria. So let's say we want everybody that contains the word John in their name. As you can see, we got 3 people that contain John somewhere in their name. That's just the way the logic of this particular stored procedure works. Let's see if we find anybody named Mike. As you can see, nobody is named Mike. What about someone that has an M? Well, a lot of people have an M in their name, as you can see. We didn't get more than 10 results because we specified to get maximum 10 results. And that's it. That's how simple it is to call stored procedures using the Sharp Factory framework. Thank you for watching, and please don't forget to subscribe to our channel.